As is the tradition with the Northside Conservative Action Alliance, we're going to start out the meeting with our constitutional minute or minutes from Mr. Dave Miller. So he's going to give it tonight. So Dave, it's all yours.
Okay, this is something I've not done. Usually someone else does it, but we want to take a look at a couple of things, and what I would like to say is we heard Barack Obama recently talking about the minimum wage, and that it should be raised, the national minimum wage. And I'm not interested in whether that's a good idea or a bad idea. What I'm interested in talking about a little bit is whether it's legal or not for him to do that. And then more recently, he also suggested that salaried workers that make under a certain amount per week have a tendency to get, he felt that they should have overtime if they worked at all beyond 40 hours. And also kind of hinted that he would like to see that happen within, didn't really state it, but that he was thinking about a declaration that just an executive order and to put it in place. Anyway, so you have constitutions there. Let's look up, let's first look at Article 1, Section 1. Would someone like to read that? It's fairly short.
All legislative powers herein granted shall be vested in a Congress of the United States, which shall consist of a Senate and House of Representatives.
I think that's pretty clear. To me it is. And I would, anyway, but let's go on a little bit further.
Okay.
Article 2, Section 2 lists the powers of the President. I suspect everyone here has copies of the Constitution, but do we apply it? And that's what I'm promoting, is that let's apply it a little bit more, and because some of these things are pretty easy answers. Anyway, does someone have Article 2, Section 2?
The President shall be Commander-in-Chief of the Army and Navy of the United States and of the militia of the several states when called into the actual service of the United States. He may require the opinion in writing of the principal officer in each of the executive departments upon any subject relating to the duties of their respective offices, and he shall have power to grant reprieves and pardons for offenses against the United States, except in the cases of impeachment. Want me to continue?
Yes, actually, if you would like, we can skip over a part and
Okay.
go over to
Next page.
Section 3 would, let's see, not Section 3, just no, let's we can read right on through that, I think,
Okay.
pretty much.
He shall have power, by and with the advice and consent of the Senate, to make treaties, provided 2/3 of the senators present concur. He shall nominate, and by and with the advice and consent of the Senate, shall appoint ambassadors, other prime ministers and consuls, judges of the Supreme Court, and all other officers of the United States whose appointments are not herein otherwise provided for, which shall be established by law. The Congress may by law vest the appointment of such inferior officers as they think proper in the President alone, in the courts of law, or in the heads of departments. The President shall have power to fill up all vacancies that may happen during the recess of the Senate by granting commissions which shall expire at the end of their next session.
Okay. Then in Section 3, he shall from time to time give the Congress information of the state of the Union and recommend to their consideration such measures as he shall judge necessary and expedient. He may also, on extraordinary occasions, convene both houses or either of them in the case of disagreement between them, with respect to time and adjournment, he may adjourn them to such time as he shall think proper. He shall receive ambassadors and other public ministers, etc. Anyway, the point being, I'm skipping some there, but the point being that it doesn't go into him doing any legislating, does it? None at all. And let's look at Article 1, Section 8. Now this is fairly long, but I think it's important because it lays out several things. The Congress shall have power to lay and collect taxes, duties, imposts, excises, to pay debts, and provide for the common defense and common welfare of the United States. But all duties, imposts, and excises shall be uniform throughout the United States. And it lists borrowing money, it lists a whole series of things, but the last one is very clear in my opinion. To make all laws which shall be necessary and proper for carrying into the execution of the foregoing powers, and all other powers vested by the Constitution in the government of the United States or in any department or officer thereof. But it lists a group of things that they can do, but it doesn't give them permission to make laws within the states unless they are part of the, based on the government. I mean, based on something that the federal government is doing. So it seems like it's probably an overreach there a bit. Then in the amendments, let's look at 10. And who would like to read that?
The powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively, or to the people.
Okay. So let me ask a question. If the president makes a decree that the minimum wage must go up across the nation, is that reasonable and appropriate under this?
No.
Why not?
Well, it's not one of the 18 things in Article 1, Section 8.
Good point.
Well, that's the Congress, but the president isn't given the power to determine wages, salaries, or anything else for anybody.
Another good point. I think there's some more, but those are adequate, I think, don't you?
Sure.
And we're seeing so much of that, and I'm sure that each one of you are interested in seeing the government scaled back in these areas. But there are so many of those things going on that we really need to put the pressure and call people out on it. I'm talking legislators and judges and the president, and we need to get things rolled back into what is listed within this. This was written to define our freedom. I wanted that.
Thank you.